Hey guys, Jason with CV Custom. So thanks for coming and checking out the 56 again. We are on the 56 International Hallmark truck, and today we're going to put the Zerorust on. It's not like Pour 15 where there's a system and you got to put a self-etching primer and stuff like that. I actually kind of use this differently than the way it's designed, but I'm going to explain to you why I do that. So most of my projects, I break them down to bare metal when I'm doing a build-up like this, but there's still a lot of modifications like engine placement and suspension, and all that stuff has to be modified, the braking system. So what I do is I use this Zerorust, and I'm going to show you guys how I mix it. I mix it in a way to where I can put it on the metal, and it acts as a sealer, but it's very easy to remove to do any modification. So if I'm modifying the firewall, if I'm modifying a cross member, which those are both things that we're going to be doing, although maybe not the firewall, we're going to be filling some holes, but on the floorboard we are going to be modifying that where it goes over the transmission, because the new transmission is going to be a little higher up than the old transmission that came out of the 56, because this is getting a T5. It's a little bit different design. So anyways, I use this system, and I use it in this way because it seals the metal, because a lot of times it takes months for me to do all these different modifications before the truck's actually ready to start getting its body work. So right now what we're focused on is we've stripped it down so we know where all the cancer is, we know where all the problem areas are, we're able to make our modifications and not have to clean off old paint and rust. It works really well. So let's take a look at all the stuff that's been sandblasted, what we're going to shoot today, and then I'll show you how we mix it up. Okay, so right off the bat, on the cab itself, you see there's a lot of holes in the firewall. We're going to clean that up. I'm not putting anything on the firewall. I think most of the wires and hoses are going to go right in at the bottom, so we have a real clean firewall. It's going to look really good. Obviously, we don't clean this because there's like a vent here and a cover, but we're going to fill all the holes that aren't going to be used now. So that's going to be the modifications on the firewall. But you can see that this thing really got taken down pretty well. Front clip's still here. I didn't get to separate it like I wanted to and do the extra work. We're going to have to do that with the regular sandblaster. Although now I think instead of using sand, we're just going to use crushed glass. Crushed glass worked great. And I actually think it's a little cheaper if we just buy a pallet. So we're still going to remove some stuff from the front clip, but we do need to put the Zerorust on it so that we can get it sealed up. Now, what we're going to start with today, after I show you guys how to mix, we still have the bed here, and again, we're cutting out the floor. That's why the floor itself didn't get sandblasted. I wasn't going to waste my time on it. You see all the rust holes? It's going away. It's going to get a nice wood deck. It's going to look really neat. Today, we're going to focus on the axles, and you can see they've already started to flash rust. That was one of the big things with that dustless sandblaster. The rust inhibitor did a really good job on keeping the steel from flash rusting. You see the cover. But the cast iron, it flashed rust pretty quick. Let me get out of the sun so you can see the difference. That's steel versus cast iron. So there was a big difference. But the nice thing about this Zerorust is we can put it on right onto the rust. Now we are going to wipe down what we're going to paint with acetone. I just used Zerorust and acetone. We'll go over that right now when we start mixing. So let's focus on getting our axles ready again so we can get some stuff out of my shop. Okay guys, so let me kind of show you. That's what I put in there. Now what I did was I put acetone in this one. I've got my my gun right here. I'm ready to go. So you can see how much I dilute it. It's kind of like 3-to-1. So just the Zerorust and acetone, about 3-to-1, maybe a little more. There. So we're at 3-to-1. Then just take my stick and mix it so you can see how thin it is coming off the stick here. And then I'll get it in the gun, and I'll show you guys how I shoot it and how it comes out. Then I'll just get everything done. I'm not going to make you guys watch me paint everything. But you can see it's really thin. You make sure you mix it pretty well, because the acetone, you want to make sure the acetone and the Zerorust are all mixed up. And again, this isn't like a, you can actually roll this Zerorust on with a brush straight. You don't have to thin it out. But I thin it out because of the way I use it, and it actually does a really good job keeping the rust off while we're doing all of our projects. So let me get it into the gun and we'll shoot it. Okay, so trying to get you guys down here so you can see the axle. This fitting's leaking a little bit, so it gets kind of loud, so I'm going to talk real quick before we put it on. You can just kind of see what we're doing, and then I'll get everything done. You don't have to watch us do it all. Do have to wear some kind of mask. Now I'm only using very thin mask because there's no walls in this shop. I'm very ventilated. It's not that big of a deal. And the right mask is with all my paint supplies at the other shop. And I want to show you guys how we're putting this on. So we're going to make do with this today. And yeah, let's get on it. You can also wear glasses. But again, all my stuff's at the other shop. So I'm going to get the axle done and then grab that stuff and finish up. But I want to show you guys how it goes on so you see how thin it is. Alright, let me switch you around. Okay guys, so that's how simple it goes on. It actually looks really good once it's on there. Now, a couple of things you might notice that I'm not focusing on the knuckle. That's because we're not using this knuckle. We're going to use a different set of knuckles I already have that are flat top steer, because we're going to do a crossover steering system. We're also not using this tie rod setup. So again, we're not worried about that. Now, I'm going to let it dry for a second, roll it over and hit that, and then we will hit all this stuff and that axle, and I'll show you guys at the end how everything comes out. Alright, so I'm running out of daylight, but you can kind of see what I've got done at this point. Now I'm going to keep going. It's just harder for me to film when it gets dark with these shop lights and everything. Let me step back here so you can kind of see. Remember, we're not worried about what we're cutting out. So we were just hitting the cross members and the pieces that we're keeping on the bed. The axles look pretty solid. Kind of got them out of the way so I had more room. The side looks pretty good too. Now, obviously I didn't paint on the floor. I blew up the shop floor, but I really wanted to get in here and around the front cowl. But you can see I've got a lot of work to do tonight. So I'm going to get back to it. Hey guys, so you can see I've got paint everywhere and a lot of work to do. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I hope you're enjoying the 56 project. We're going to keep going on it. I just wanted to show you guys that I hadn't stopped, and it's a big focus for me because I'd really like to get it done before SEMA this year. With any luck, maybe we'll get it to SEMA. So cross your fingers for me, and we'll see what happens. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Real quick, on the next video, we're going to get back on Sam's truck. I got to get that thing out this week. And that's the Highboy, if you guys haven't been watching that. So Sam's Highboy is on its way out, and we'll keep moving on the 56. See you guys.